In this video, I'm going to explain my journey, how I cracked 1 crore package without falling for fake coaching scams. And trust me, if you are looking for a short-term success or dopamine effect, and this video is of no value to you, you may skip and drop out. And let me start. The first step to earn 1 crore CR package in companies like Google, we call it FANG. Stop changing one CR number itself and start building the value that deserves it. Because Google doesn't pay you one CR package because you want it. FANG companies even don't pay you one CR package because you bought an expensive coaching program. They don't pay one CR package because your resume has fancy buzzwords and certifications. They don't pay you one CR because you memorized 500 interview questions. They pay you because when you prove these three things, can you think clearly under pressure? Can you solve the real business problem? Can you take ownership when things are uncertain and especially in a chaotic environment? This is the real game. And today I'm not going to sell you a dream. I'm going to give you step-by-step path. And this is from my real experience. Hey, if you have not met me, my name is Pritam. I have been with Google for last 7 years. And I have to work across various great companies like Oracle, SAP in the past. I happen to be a TEDx speaker and author as well. Let's get started. So the first thing is how to prepare for the interview. So I took 15 days off, honestly, and how to handle the technical rounds, how to answer when you don't know something, how to clear leadership and scenario-based rounds, how to survive imposter syndrome after joining in, how to find mentors inside the company. That's also crucial. How to turn projects into promotions, and how your salary can gradually move from 35 LPA to higher packages through skills, ownership, and clear business impact. But before we go deeper, let me give you a serious warning. As I said before, if someone tells you, join my course, I will guarantee you 1 CR package with FANG companies, pause right there. Because most of them are not selling your career growth. They are selling you a shiny object and they are working on your desperation to earn money. They know you want Google, Amazon, Microsoft, OpenAI, and they know you want 1 CR package and desperation. So they use this one powerful line to trap you. 1 CR package guaranteed, but the real careers are not built like that. Let me be very honest. I didn't enter Google with 1 CR package. When I joined Google, I was way below 35 lakhs per annum in Indian rupees. When I entered Google, I was not feeling like some superstar. I was overwhelmed. I had imposter syndrome. I looked at the talented people around me and asked myself, do I belong here? But slowly I learned the truth. You don't reach a 1 CR package by pretending to be confident. You reach there by becoming competent. That's the secret sauce. You reach there by learning fast, by failing fast, learning from your mistakes. You reach there by owning your work. You reach there by solving your real problems. You reach there by showing consistency when nobody is clapping for you. So don't fake it till you make it. The advice may sound cool on Instagram, but in serious FANG interview, it can seriously destroy your credibility and brand. Because Google interviewers are not checking whether you know the right answer. They are watching your thinking process, or rather the thought process, how you break down a problem, how you handle ambiguity, how do you ask the clarifying follow-up question, how do you respond when you don't know something, how do you stay honest under pressure. Sometimes the interviewer is less interested in your final answer and more interested how your brain and thought process works. So here is the first step. Crack the interview with honesty, clarity, and structured thinking, not acting. And let me be brutally honest, twice I have failed before I cracked the third time in the interview, and I am being honest here. So don't commit these mistakes if you have to crack companies like Google, because a smart interviewer can catch fake confidence very quickly. These are all seasoned and experienced professionals, but they will always respect genuine thinking. So let's begin with a full roadmap. Step 1, crack the interview with honesty, no drama. The first step in getting here is, and here is where many people commit the biggest mistake. They try to act they know everything. They watch few videos, memorize answers, copy someone else's story, and enter the interview trying to impress. But let me tell you something very important. Don't fake it till you make it in a serious interview, especially not in companies like Google, because interviewers are not just checking whether you know the answer. They are checking your thinking process, your ability to navigate in ambiguity. How do you break down a problem? How you ask clarifying questions? How do you handle pressure? How do you respond when you don't know answer? Sometimes the answer is less important than approach. So when you don't know something, be honest, say, I haven't worked deeply on this area, but here is how I think about it. I did the same. That one sentence is more powerful than pretending. because genuine thinking beats the fake confidence every day. And this is where most candidates lose the opportunity. They think interviewer wants perfection. The answer is no. They want clarity, they want structured thinking, they want honesty, they want to know whether you can be trusted with real problems when the answer is not obvious. That's the bottom line. Step 2, understand the interview rounds. Now let's understand what interview exactly tests. In companies like Google, the interview is not about just one technical round. You face multiple type of rounds. The first obviously may be telephonic screening or role based related knowledge technical round, depending on what role you are being interviewed. For example, for software engineering might be different, for cloud architect like my role might be different. This is where the bottom line is your technical depth is being tested. For example, if you are applying for a cloud engineering, data or consulting roles, they will test whether you understand the core concepts of your domain, not just definitions. They want to know whether you can apply those concepts in a real-time scenario. Second, there is leadership and thought process round. This is where they check how you can influence people, handle conflicts, make decisions, and take ownership. They want to know, can this person work with teams? Can this person handle pressure? Can this person communicate clearly? Can this person lead without creating drama? Or is he just a complaining box? This is where there are use case and scenario based rounds. This is why they may ask, how do you solve this customer problem? How you handle a failed project? How you handle a customer escalation? How do you prioritize between two urgent business needs? How do you explain a complex technology to a non-technical senior level exec? So your preparation should not be only technical. You must prepare your stories, your project stories, your failure or success stories, your learnings, your leadership stories, your problem solving stories, because the interviewers want to see the real you, not fake it till make it melodrama, and not a rehearsed robotic answer. That's the bottom line. Number 3, 15 days interview preparation journey for me. Now let's make this practical, because you don't get a chance to get interviewed with Google like companies every day. Here is a serious 15-day preparation plan. I used it. Not a magic formula, not a fake guarantee, a practical roadmap. Day 1 to day 3, understand the role deeply. Don't blindly prepare anything. Read the job description line by line. Identify what role actually needs. Ask yourself, what skills are repeated? What business problem does this role solve for? What tools or technologies are important? What kind of leadership is expected? What are the success metrics for this role? Ask this question. Your preparation should match the role, not random internet advice. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make, preparing for everything and becoming strong at nothing. You don't need to know everything. You need to know what matters for the role you are applying for. Day 4 to day 6, prepare your technical foundation. Now pick your core technical areas where your expertise lies. For cloud roles, understand the cloud fundamentals, architecture, security, databases, networking, cost optimization, real-world customer scenarios. For software roles, strengthen your data structure, system design, coding, debugging, and scalability. For AI roles, understand the models, data, evaluation, governance, safety, latency, cost, and the production grade deployment, right? But remember this, don't try to cover everything. Let me be honest, I was not trying to cover anything, and focus on your strongest area first, because in interviews, your clarity in your strength matters more than the fake confidence in the weak areas. If you know cloud database, go deep. In my case, I come from a database background and infrastructure background. So I went deep. If you know architecture, go deep. If you know generative AI, go deep. If you know consulting, client solving problem expertise, go deep. Depth creates the trust. That's the bottom line. Surface level knowledge creates doubt. Day 7 to day 9, build your story bank. Now, prepare 8 to 10 real stories from your career. One story you solved a difficult problem, one story you failed and learned, one story you led without authority, one story where you handled the pressure, one story where you worked with stakeholders from multiple organizations, cross LOBs, one story where you improved the process, one story you took accountability, not just responsibility, one story where you learned something new quickly. Use a simple format: situation, problem, action, result, learning. And sometimes people use SMART theory, that also works. This will help you answer leadership and scenario based questions naturally. Because when the interviewer asks, tell me about a time you handled ambiguity, you should not start searching your memory during the interview. You should already have a story ready, not fake, not dramatic, real, structured, and be honest as far as possible. Day 10 to 12, practical real use cases. This is where most people fail. They know the theory, but they can't apply it, unfortunately. So the real world practical use cases, for example, a client wants to migrate to cloud. What will you ask first? A system is slow. How will you investigate? A customer wants Gen AI adoption. How will you identify the use cases? A project failed, how do you communicate to the leadership? A solution is too expensive, how will you optimize the cost? The question stands your maturity, not memorization, because in real companies, you don't get perfect textbook problems. You get really, really messy situations. And you can trust me on that. Unclear requirements, budget pressure, stakeholder confusion, technical limitation, business urgencies, and uncontrollable dynamics, of course, right? So your job is not to just to answer, your job is to think. Day 13 to 15, mock interviews and refinement. Now practice it loudly. Record yourself. Check whether you are rambling. Check whether your answers are structured. Check whether you sound really genuine. Check whether you are giving too much unnecessary background. Don't try to sound perfect. Try to sound clear because clarity is attractive in interviews. And remember this, a good answer is not always the longest answer. A good answer is the answer that helps interviewer understand your thinking quickly. That's the bottom line. And let's move back to step 4. After joining, don't relax because you have to prove and build your value. Getting into Google or any companies like Google, we call it FANG companies, is not the finish line. It is just the starting line. When I entered Google, I was completely overwhelmed, to be honest. I saw extremely talented people around me, and in that environment, one thing helped me. I started learning from people. I identified senior people. I looked for mentorship. I took help from buddy programs. I asked some meaningful questions. But before asking, I did my homework properly. And that is very important to survive in FANG companies. In high performing companies, people respect your effort. If you go to a senior person and say, explain everything to me, that is not impressive. But if you say, I studied this, I tried this, I found these 3 options, but I need your feedback. Now that conversation becomes meaningful. That is how you earn respect, not by pretending, but by showing your preparation. Step 5. Learn on real projects. Don't wait for perfect training. Learn while you work on projects. When you enter a big company, you will see chaos. New tools, processes, new teams, new expectations, new acronyms, new jargons, new pressure, of course. The best way to grow is to attach your learning to real work. In my journey, certifications helped. Getting one strong certification within 2 to 3 months can give you strong confidence and credibility, especially in cloud technologies and AI world. But remember, certification alone will not make you valuable. Applicability will make you. Learn the technology, apply it in projects, explain it to your clients, convert it into business value. This is where growth happens because companies don't promote you only when you learn something new. They promote when your learning creates a business impact. Step number 6, take ownership, accountability, not just responsibility. This is one of the biggest differentiators between average performers and high performers. Responsibility means this task is assigned to me. Ownership means I will make sure outcome is developed. That is also sometimes called accountability. And if something goes wrong, I will not hide, I will understand and improve and communicate. In my journey, I got opportunities where things were not always smooth. During COVID, we all have gone through this massive scenario, right? I got a breakthrough opportunities. That one good thing happened around virtual desktop infrastructure, VDI, when work from home became the new norm. It didn't produce massive result in the way we expected, but I learned deeply. I did my ground research. I supported momentum. I understood what worked. I understood what did not work. I summarized the learnings for my leadership team, and that consistency mattered. And sometimes your biggest growth doesn't come from your perfect success. It comes from serious effort, your learning, and maturity during uncertain projects. Because leaders notice people who hold the fort when things are unclear. That's the bottom line. Step 7, turning projects into visible business impacts. Later, I worked on GCP databases, Google Cloud Platform databases, momentum, partner solution plays, use cases, and demos. We ran masterclass series in collaboration with practice team on databases. This helped client understand Google Cloud portfolio offerings and how to take them from prototype, demo to implementation. And that was quite significantly valuable to the clients and to the business. Why? Because it was just not technical knowledge. It converted technical knowledge again into client value. This is where your career starts changing. When you stop asking, how can I look smart? And start asking, how can I solve a business problem? This shift is entirely powerful because companies don't pay higher salaries for your knowledge. They pay for impact. They pay for trust. They pay for accountability and ownership. They pay for people who can connect technology with business problems. Step number 8, build your career like a long-term game. Eventually, I got promoted and my salary increased. I transitioned into a team lead role, managing APAC level consulting and global system integration partners, and they're taking the responsibilities. And I upskilled myself with Gen AI. That was the need of the hour. I wrote a book, I delivered a TED talk, but none of the thing happened overnight. It was a roller coaster ride, and there were doubts, there were mistakes, there were learning curves, and there were moments where I had to figure out by myself. One lesson became very clear. No one can own your career for you. That's the bottom line. Your manager can support you, your leaders can guide you, your mentors can help you, your company can give you opportunities. But you know what you want exactly. You must know what problems you want to solve. You must know how to add value. If you are confused about your career, no one else can create clarity for you. That's the brutal truth. Step number 9. I know you must be waiting for this, the real formula to reach 1 CR package. How did I reach 1 CR package? Not by shortcuts, you reach by stacking value. First, build a strong technical foundation with skills, build communication skills, build business understanding, build ownership, build leadership, build your visibility and brand, build your credibility. Then build rare expertise in the growing areas like cloud, data, cybersecurity, AI, Gen AI, or enterprise digital transformation. When your skills become rare, useful, and trusted, your compensation starts rising. This is the real formula, not hype, no fake promises, no coaching fraud, and no, of course, join my program. I will make you valuable to reach 1 CR package. The scam going on the internet. And strong warning section. Here is my serious one. Be careful of people roaming around the internet saying, pay me this amount, I will coach you, and I will get you into FANG companies with 1 CR package, or I will get you into C-level boardroom. Join this program and get 1 CR package. Use this secret formula, resume format, and FANG will hire you. Learn these 50 questions, crack the interview. These are all fake promises. There are a lot in the market, and I have been also victim of those. To be honest and frank, this is not a clear career advice. This is emotional marketing. Real preparation is boring. Trust me on that. It requires practice, honesty, self-awareness, feedback, patience. It requires doing this work when nobody is patting for you or clapping for you. So don't fall for fantasy. Build the foundation, build, because the real professionals are not made in advertisements. They are made in quiet preparation. They work in when nobody is observing them. They work in difficult projects. They are made in moments when they don't know the answer, but they choose the difficult path to learn, fail fast, and improve. So a 1 CR package is possible. This is not a lottery ticket. This is not a shortcut. This is not a weekend workshop. This is a step-by-step journey. Trust me, don't waste your money on fake coaching scams and coaching gurus over the internet. I don't want to name them, but start with skills, prepare honestly, enter with humility, learn from seniors, do your homework, own your work, solve the business problems, stay consistent, keep upgrading yourself and improving yourself by 1% every day. Most importantly, don't fake your way into the room. Grow your way into it, because goal is not to just enter Google. The goal is to become the kind of professional who can survive, grow, lead, and create impact once you have landed there. If this video gave you clarity, share it with that one person who is preparing for companies like Google but feeling lost. Trust me, I have gone through this process, and remember, your career changes when you stop chasing packages and start building the values. Thanks for watching for this video. Do subscribe to this channel if you find this video helpful, and give me a thumbs up and give your comments and engage with me for more such videos, and thank you.